Your anxiety isn't overreacting. It's remembering. That's the part almost no one tells you. And today, you're going to see exactly what it's been trying to say all along. Imagine this. You're sitting in your car, keys in the ignition, sunlight hitting the windshield in that way that turns everything gold for just a second. And you feel it. That familiar tightening in your chest, the sudden short breath, the sense that something invisible is leaning over your shoulder. Nothing happened. No danger. No threat. Just a quiet moment. But your body responds like you're in the middle of a storm. And maybe you whisper to yourself, "Why does this happen? Why now?" This is where our story begins, with one ordinary moment that opens a door into everything your triggers have been carrying. Let me take you into a soft emotional scene. A quiet afternoon, a woman named Maya driving home after a long day. She's scrolling through her mental checklist. Pick up groceries, call her sister back, send that work email. She's tired but steady, until she hears a sound. A single notification ding. Not alarming, not even important. But it stops her breath. Her shoulders rise. Her heart hits a faster rhythm. Her whole body freezes like she's just entered a room where something dangerous waits. It's strange, she thinks. Just a sound. But you know how this works. Anxiety rarely announces itself politely. Ambushes. It whispers. Echoes old memories. And in that moment, Maya doesn't know that her body isn't reacting to the notification. It's responding to the story behind it. And this is where I tell you exactly why this happens, because understanding this is one of the most empowering things you can ever learn about your mind. Every time you experience anxiety, your brain is doing two things at once. It's assessing your now and cross-checking it with your then. Your amygdala, the brain's alarm system, doesn't care about logic, context, or whether the threat is real. Cares about patterns. And it remembers them with stunning detail. So let's break the science down simply. Whenever something painful, scary, overwhelming, or emotionally unpredictable happens in your life, your amygdala creates a kind of emotional snapshot. Not just the event itself, but everything around it. The sounds, the objects, the environment, the gestures, the tone of someone's voice, the time of day, even the way the light was hitting the room. For Maya, that little notification sound was part of a time in her life when her phone carried messages that hurt her. Stressful texts, conflict, rejection she didn't know how to handle. Her brain coded the sound as danger. Years later, new life, new phone, new relationships. Her amygdala still fires as if those past moments never ended. That's what triggers are. Reminders your nervous system remembers even when you don't. Let me tell you something important. And I want you to really take this in. Triggers are not signs of weakness, immaturity, or emotional instability. They are memory-based survival responses. They are your body saying, "I have seen this before, and I don't ever want you to get hurt like that again." They're not trying to sabotage you. They're trying to protect you. Now, this is where the deeper psychology opens. Most people think the problem is the trigger itself, the sound, the person, the place, the words. But the real story lives underneath. Anxiety triggers are messengers. They point to the unresolved moment, the unprocessed pain, the parts of you that needed safety and didn't get it, the version of you who had to survive before you learned to understand what you feel. Your trigger is the surface. The wound is deeper. And the wisdom is even deeper than that. Let's go back to Maya for a moment. After the notification sound, her chest tightens. She pulls over. She feels ridiculous, embarrassed, overly sensitive. But what she doesn't yet realize is that her body is telling her a story she hasn't listened to in years. A story about how, long ago, every notification meant conflict was coming. How she taught herself to shrink, to prepare, to brace before she even picked up the phone. Her anxiety isn't random. It's history. And so is yours. Now let's slow the lens down and turn it toward you for a minute. Think about the last time anxiety hit you suddenly. The last time your body reacted faster than your thoughts. Maybe it was a tone of voice someone used. Maybe it was someone walking away mid-conversation. Maybe it was silence. Maybe it was being asked a question you didn't expect. Maybe it was your partner taking longer than usual to respond. Maybe it was someone raising an eyebrow. Maybe it was a loud noise. Maybe it was nothing obvious at all. And you wondered, why am I like this? Why does this bother me so much? Where is this coming from? I want to offer you a simple reframe that can change everything. Your anxiety doesn't flare to punish you, flares to guide you. Triggers point to places where your mind holds unfinished conversations, where your emotional system is still waiting for closure, validation, safety, or understanding. Even your physical reactions, the shaking, the heat in your chest, the urge to leave the room, are communication signals. Anxiety is your body's way of saying, there is something here I need you to look at. Let's dig deeper into the neuroscience behind this. Your brain has three major systems involved in anxiety. Amygdala, the alarm, fast, emotional, protective. Hippocampus, the historian, stores context and memories. Prefrontal cortex, the analyst, slow, logical, helps regulate responses. In anxiety, the alarm system fires first. The historian tries to pull up the why, and the logical brain comes in last, often after your body has already reacted. This is why triggers feel sudden and unavoidable. Your survival brain runs the show before your thinking brain is even awake. But here's where the story gets hopeful. The brain is plastic, meaning it learns, rewires, adapts. Every time you meet a trigger with understanding instead of shame, you change the circuitry. Every time you pause and name what you feel, you weaken the old pathway. Every time you respond instead of react, you teach your brain that you are safe now. This is how healing happens. Not with perfection, but with presence. Let me give you a scene that captures this transformation. After her anxiety episode, Maya sits in her parked car. She places her hand on her chest. She breathes, not to force calm, but to acknowledge the storm. She says softly, I know why you're scared. I know this feels familiar. But I'm here now. And for the first time, her anxiety loosens. Not because she fought it, but because she listened to it. This moment is small but radical, because when you treat anxiety as a signal instead of a flaw, you reclaim the power it borrowed. Now let's go even deeper into the emotional insight, the part of the story most people skip because it's quiet, intimate, and requires honesty. Every trigger tells you one of three things. 1. This hurt me once. Something in your present resembles something painful from your past. 2. I don't feel safe in this. Your boundaries or needs are being tested, ignored, or violated. 3. I am carrying more than I can hold. Your body is signaling overwhelm, depletion, exhaustion, or emotional load. And sometimes a trigger is not about the past at all. Sometimes it's your intuition whispering, pay attention. Something here isn't aligned. People often think intuition and anxiety are the same. They're not. Intuition is grounded. Anxiety is wired. But triggers can reveal both. So here's the emotional truth. Your anxiety is a teacher, mirror, messenger, a storyteller. And every reaction is an invitation to meet yourself more deeply. Let me show you how powerful this reframing can be with one more scene from Maya's story. A few days later, a similar notification sound goes off. She feels the rise of panic. But this time she doesn't spiral. She pauses. She places her hand on her chest again. And she asks the question that shifts everything. What are you trying to protect me from? And suddenly the answer isn't fear. It's grief. Grief from the years she spent waiting for messages that hurt. Grief from the people who taught her to brace instead of breathe. Grief from trying to stay small to avoid conflict. Her anxiety wasn't trying to warn her of danger. It was trying to help her mourn something she never got to release. This is why I say anxiety is remembering. It remembers the moments you rushed through, minimized, or survived without support. It remembers the feelings you didn't have the words to explain. It remembers the times you pretended you were fine. It remembers the conversations you needed that never happened. It remembers the nights you stayed awake trying to be strong for everyone else. And it brings those moments to the surface, not to torture you, but because your nervous system is finally ready to heal what it once had to ignore. This is where we reach the emotional heart of today's story. Your anxiety triggers are not glitches in your system. They are emotional breadcrumbs leading you back to the parts of you still waiting to be seen. The part of you that needed comfort. The part of you that needed boundaries. The part of you that needed someone to take you seriously. The part of you that needed reassurance. The part of you that needed safety. The part of you that needed to slow down, breathe, and let someone care. And maybe, for the first time, that someone is you. So here's what your anxiety is really trying to tell you. Please look at me. Please don't rush past me. Please help me understand the world again. Please teach me what safety feels like. Your triggers are not asking you to be fearless. They're asking you to be present. Let's return to Maya one more time. Later that evening, she sits by her window with a warm cup of tea. The world is quiet. She thinks of the notification sound again. Not with panic this time, but with curiosity. And she smiles softly because she realizes something profound. Her anxiety wasn't the enemy. It was a younger version of her. One who was still waiting for her to arrive. And now she has. By the end of the story, your story, this becomes the lesson. When you listen to your triggers, you stop fighting your mind and start understanding it. When you follow the message instead of the fear, anxiety turns into awareness. And when you show up for yourself the way you needed years ago, you rewrite the ending. Your anxiety is not asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to pay attention, to slow down, to notice what hurts, to notice what's missing, to notice what needs care, to notice what's actually going on inside your body rather than rushing past it. And healing happens in those small moments, not in dramatic breakthroughs, but in quiet self-recognition. So here's where we land. You're not broken. Your triggers are not failures. Your anxiety isn't the villain. It's the part of you that learned to survive before it knew how to feel safe. And today, listening to this story, you just took a step closer to safety. If this resonated with you, stay close. This channel is here to help you understand your brain, strengthen your resilience, and navigate your inner world with more confidence, compassion, and clarity. There's so much more to learn, and so much more healing available to you. Take a slow breath. You did something good for yourself today. And I hope you'll stick around for the next video. Your mind has so many stories to tell, and together we can learn what each one truly means.